Hey, you people. That last movie I did, about 10 minutes short, looks like this. At the beginning of it, I get to the point of how I learned how to read this Greek. Then I read a little bit on the beginning of this message to the church of Deuterius. The sayhis of the calculacy. You know, it's making fun of His Majesty, whoever is the calculus, the calculacy astrologer. What had me read this was this word for morning I run into here. You know, and it's referred to the morning star. And it's pro in on, before in light, for enlighten. And you see here this word, I will give, you know, and do so I authorize, you know, and do so self, auto. You know, they tell you auto means self-propelled, automatic, and do so self too. And it's self-taught, auto-taught. The self-taught it on Astra, on the Nostra, rat, the rat on, the beginning, where to find the rat, before in light, before in the morning. Of each on whose accuse it to. On each of whose accuse it to. People knew what this meant, so they tried to jam this meaning on there. Of each on whose, having an ear. Everybody got an ear, but it's not an ear. It's each on whose, and then accuse it to. And that word will change spelling. That word comes up spelled 50 different ways, but it always has the mark on the first letter, which is either an A or a H. Of each on whose accuse it to tie top and whom allege they. To tie the top on whom allege they. You know, the gods above. And then to ye sekel has ye is. To ye cycle has ye is. And it's poetry about, you know, ancient people looking at the stars at night. And it's easier to tell when you read it the second time. But it, you know, it reads, and do so of taught, you know, T-O-T, of taught to noster. It on, you know, before light. And the light is not necessarily the visual light, but it's that light that goes off in your head when you figure something out. You know, the first in knowledge. And so the first in light is when you see Venus come up before the sun. And I do so of taught on, the asteroid on, for in knowledge, the first knowledge. Of each on whose accuse it to tie the top in whom. You know, each one of them is going to have a name. It's going to be called a name, to accuse it, to tie the top in whom, to tie the top where all the stars, you know, whatever stars you see it come in with, it's going to have a name. Allege they to you, you know, to allege, to write it down, to write they to you, to know a name by, is. The cycle has you, is. You has you is. You know, to know the cycle of Venus, 263 days in the morning, and then 50 days hidden behind, and 263 days in the evening. And then when it passes in front, it just takes 8 days to pass in front. And when you come back and read this a second time, you can see that, you know, para to, along with, to patros move. You know, when it's moving with the sun, when it's moving in back of the sun with the same relation as it takes longer. And para, and along with the Father's move. And do so oughta. Now it's reading the A-O-T-U, oughta. Pinballing between these two marks. The oughta and then the T-O-T, the taught. And then the W-O-T, the what. And taught what? Honor, O-N-A-R. To honor its aster, to honor its star. And do so oughta taught what honor its aster. It on pro and on the first star, before in the morning. And then this reads backwards. It's not on each on, but it's of the notch each on. Everything moves up one notch. Of the notch each on. As was it as woke accuse it to. As what the noise, as what it as woke accuse it to. What woke me up to tie to. Pan whom alleged they to is. C is hill. Calculus C is. The one that's calculating. And so, and do so what ought to taught and honor it's a star, and not necessarily a star, but to stare it on. Instead of staring at the stars, to stare it on for in light, before the light. On each on us, as use it, as woke a cause it to. Venus is the love. That's what caused you to awake in the middle of the night. Venus did it. And a notch each on, as use it, as woke accuse it to. Tie it to Pan, whom allege they. Pan did it. The Pam who allege they. To is the size, S-I-A-I-S, to the size, hill, calculus C-as, the calculus size, the calculus is. And so what sent me here, this word, morning, only comes up twice. And it's spelt different, now it's pronos. So you only get 2 mornings. And it's got to be pretty important because it comes up, it's the last red letter word. It's the last word Jesus says before nothing may be added or removed, before the end of the Bible. And it's here in the Goyes. The Goyes who's the pimps it on. The Goyes who's the pimps it on, haggle on move. From art where has say. And so, the Goyes, it looks to be the new woman of the house. The Goyeses of the pimps, the pimps, they don't have a product, they just move the product. The pimps, the movers. And the Goyes, who's the pimps it on, haggle, to argue with, to haggle on move, an M-O-V, on move from art where his say, where her say, from art where, and then H-R, her, where her say. No, put it over there, put it a little higher. The sayum, in, I am in, the sayum, in, to what is, the A-E is the E-S, to what is the PETA, the PETA, to PETA out, to die out. And whom in, to what is PETA, your cycle has yous, your cycle's dying out. Ego hemi, here is, ego half, the hemi, H-I-M-I, the hemi, the ego half, here is of to genius divide of astral lamp rose, the astral lamp rose of pro in as, for in nose, before in nose. And then the second time it's OG, which is I in many languages. The I goes. OG goes, the I goes, was eyes of septum. And so this word Jesus comes up 3 different ways, with or without the S, and sometimes the N. But a better pronunciation would be OG, OGE. OG and then G-O-S, gosh. O-G, gosh was the eyes of, O-G, gosh was eyes of septum. Oh gosh, gee, I can't believe what my eyes have saw. With the eyes of O-V of S-A-P-S-M, the septum, Epep, Epep, E-P-E-P, the big serpent that's in Duat, the big serpent in heaven. And O-G, gosh, was eyes of septum, Epep, pimps. Epep is the one who's trafficking, the pimps, the mover, the pimps it on, the knowledge, pimps it on the knowledge, it moves the knowledge, gaggle on, the herd of ducks, the gaggle on move, the martyr, say, the martyr, the mortuary, dying, and from the art where say, where it has say, that's where your word Torah come from right here. The law, from our law say. And the Hagalon move, from our Torah say. Whom in taught. If the pita is CS, 6, the size, he'll calculize. Calculize, sayus. Oh, gee, go hemi. Half the day, hemi Jimmy, to go him the day. Oh, gee, go him day, go him Jimmy, H-I-M-J-M-Y, go him day, arise. And I believe when this marks way out here in front of this word, it means to read it through twice. And it's ariser is. Of to genius divide, or its aster, of lamp rose, of foreignos. O gee, hemi day, that O gee, him Jimmy, ariser is. At to genius divide, of divider, its aster. That's your word. Asterisk come from there, the asterisk and asterisk. And I believe there's a difference. I believe this 6 point is an asterisk, and this 5 is a asterisk, as a trick. And they use it to trick you on the back of food labels. They'll say, see the asterisk, but there'll be a little small section hit over there. And what do genius divide, or its astral lamp rose? Its astral lamp rose of foreign as not recognized. So I don't want to get too deep off in this. I'm trying to backspace how I got here. And it was this word they give the churches that I was looking at that I found some strange things. It comes up intays and passes tays, intays and ditaxitays, intays, had alphatays, and the forsupatays. And it's up to Revelations before it comes up with another word between it, the epta, the septa. And that's twice in Revelations 1. And then it's always legitates, all the way through Revelations 1, 2, and 3, until it comes up this one more time with epitates. And so I knew that the pattern of that would help me learn something about it. So I'm going to backtrack here and go back to where I was. And this was good here, this John 4. And that's where this word come up, and that's why I had to look at it.
Don't forget. I won't forget.
Alright, I'm going to cut this off here. Good day.